Howdy, I'm Tandy. In today's video, we're going to be playing Boros Convoke, a deck that has been running around in Pioneer for a little less than a year, ever since the printing of Knight Errant of Eos, this 5-cost Convoke creature that lets you look at the top 6 and put some creatures in your hand based on however many creatures you convoked with. Basically gave you 8 big payoffs for Convoke, about to basically fill out the top end of a strategy that didn't really exist, but now it does thanks to having 8 payoffs, but also the addition of Gleeful Demolition to the format from All Will Be One gives you a really powerful enabler that generates more creatures than the card costs to play mana-wise, and with the Convoke creatures, it starts to act a lot like a ritual effect. And so basically the whole goal of the deck is to play something that makes an artifact early, use Gleeful Demolition to make 3 1/1s, and then use those to convoke out Venerated Luxon or Knight Errant of Eos, or we pair it with Imitating Recruiter / Reckless Bushwhacker to deal large chunks of burst damage. This build is unique because we are playing Thalia, Guardian of Thraben in the main deck, a card that is often quite strong against spell-based strategies in Pioneer, but falters in a format where your opponents are very creature-dense. And right now, with a rise in Is It Phoenix, multiple iterations of Rakdos having tons of non-creature spells, control decks, things like that, as well as Lotus Field, Thalia just feels very, very good. And this build is especially built with that in mind to try to get Thalia into the main deck. Thalia is not usually in the main deck because it shuts off things like Legion's Landing, Gleeful Demolition, but we have reduced the overall number of non-creatures significantly since the initial builds with Burning Tree Emissary and things like that, in favor of things like Resolute Reinforcements, this 2-drop flash creature that makes a 1/1 when it comes in. And we're basically just using a bunch of non-creatures, or a bunch of creatures to do non-creature stuff. Giant Killer, things like that. So the mana base is also pretty good. For 21 lands, we get access to a lot of, I don't want to say special lands, but lands with activated abilities, lands that prevent flooding. From 2 copies of Den of the Bugbear to 2 copies of Shefet Dunes, we actually have just a lot to do with excess mana in this strategy. And Shefet Dunes is quite strong because you're regularly hitting 3, 4, 5 creatures in play, so Shefet Dunes buff is often worth 2 to 5 damage, depending on what you're doing or what you're playing against. And it also makes it more difficult for some people to block, and that equates to some virtual damage in some spots as well. We're also able to play 1 copy of Viganjo, Seed of the Empire, a specialty land that works nicely with those Thalias, to be a 2-cost, interactive piece in some weird spots when your opponent's trying to block. We're not playing Burn Tree Emissary, and so it's okay to have white-only lands. In some builds, we have red-only lands, or our dual lands are red-centric, and our specialty lands are red-only from Den of the Bugbear, Castle and Birth, things like that. But because of that, because we're pretty heavy on white, we're able to play Needle Verge Pathway over Mana Confluence, so we're able to save ourselves quite a bit of damage. The 1-drops are some of the more important cards in the deck, from Thraben Inspector to Voldaren Epicure, to make those artifacts for Gleeful Demolition. Ornithopter being a free creature along for early convokes is quite good, and being another artifact for Demolition is nice. There aren't that many free cards in Pioneer, and so we're trying to exploit as many of them as we can and create instances of virtual free cards from Convoke and a number of other things. Sideboard, 3 Running Volley, mostly for Greasefang, but these are awesome against a number of matchups. Anything that's got a lot of blue and or white creatures is going to be good. 4 copies of Forge Devil. There are a couple matchups where this card's really nutty. Monogreen Devotion being one of them, because it can convoke while interacting with your opponent. It's rare that you get a creature in a Convoke deck that has an ability as efficient as this in spots where it's really useful, and Monogreen Devotion is one where Forge Devil just really punishes them. It's okay in the mirror, it's okay in a couple of other matchups that they have 1 toughness creatures. 2 copies of Wedding Announcement. This is going to be anti-sweeper, anti-spot removal. 2 Rydane, anti-combo, good against blue-eye control. Good with Thalia to give additional taxation to spells. 2 Declaration Stone to help sweep up large monsters for mono green. And then 1 Imidane's Recruiter as an extra, kind of like a Blitz card in the sideboard for when it's a pure race. There are some matchups where we can pretty easily take out Giant Killer out of our deck, and Imidane's Recruiter just fits right in. We're also a Gigantha deck because our deck is all 1 pip of everything. It doesn't come up too often that we get Gigantha and play it, but we do have 21 lands. It does come up. We can also buy it and then discard it to Valdair and Epicure's blood tokens, so it happens. All right, this is Thalia Convoke. Let's play League. I'm going to keep this hand. We're very close to having a nut hand, and if we draw a land for Thalia, I'll be extremely happy. And if I don't, I might discard with Epicure for the blood token, but I think... And I don't want to get my Ornithopter Thoughtseized here, so I'm actually going to play it. I don't often do this, but because of my hand's texture, I think if I get Thoughtseized, because I have 2 Knight Errants, there's a good chance that they... Haha! Duress is a whiffer. The Quilted Whiffer, Picker-Upper. Alright, so we'll just play Giant Killer. Next turn, if we draw a land or 0, we get to do cool stuff. The White Enchantment that flips is great. Been playing Convoke and Explorer. It's really fun. It sure is. Alright, well, we'll just keep on churning. If they tap out at all, we can go Demolition on Ornithopter, play a thing. We have 1 basic in the deck. Liliana Last Hope's annoying, but we can still do our big thing even in the face of this creature now. Alright, so we'll go Demo. And I think I'm going to Venerated. Just to put some more pressure down. And to make the Last Hope a little bit weaker. I'm glad that a good portion of it exists on Magic Online, for sure. Alright, so we'll get our Mountain. Thoughtseize, they'll take maybe Thalia, but we still have the 2 Knight Errants, so... I mean, I can't imagine they're going to get out of this without a sweeper effect. And I'm able to kill Liliana. And play something else here. Alright, so they're not going to do much. What if I just attack everyone to face? I'm just going to play everyone to face. Put them to 4. They can plus on the Thalia. They can do that and then play Extinction Event, but if they name even or odd, they're still in some trouble. So we definitely want Wedding, Rydane, and Imidanes, and we want any sort of interaction out, so Giant Killer can go. They do have Shieldreds in their deck, so maybe it's worth keeping the Giant Killers specifically for that. It's also possible that instead of Imidanes, we actually just move away from the Blitz package. Their deck is not like Rakdos Midrange, where they plant bodies on the table. I think the Imidanes and Reckless are weak in that matchup specifically because they squish your creatures and play defensive bricks in play that make it just like really difficult to attack or generate enough pressure so that playing Imidanes or Reckless Bushwhacker is correct. I don't want to cut all of these though. All my ones are great. Thalia is excellent. Resolute's good. Rydane and Wedding both absolutely have to come in, so let's just cut these. I think you could maybe get away with 2 Imidanes over 2 Giant Killer, but because of the potential for Shieldred, I'm going to keep it. Been playing Embercleave instead of Bushy. I think you should just play Imidanes. I think it's a pretty easy swap to Imidanes from Reckless on Arena. I mean, we're already playing 2-2, and I think you could just play 4, and it would be fine most of the time. Embercleave is cool with Bunnycorn. Alright, I'm going to play around Fatal Push. I'm not going to go for Gleeful here. So we'll go Thraben. They didn't have it. That's surprising. Iron Crag. Okay, so we have to be a little careful, but we can go... We can do the dang thing. All right, if we get hit with a sweeper next turn, so be it. I'm hoping it's Extinction Event, and then we have some leftovers afterwards, no matter what happens. This is a pretty solid turn 2 that's often difficult for many decks to deal with, especially in game number 1. Here's the Apocalypse, okay? All right, so Venerated's not attacking. Should I play Resolute? What am I trying to pump? I'm trying to pump Venerated and Ornithopter, right? So let's go. Let's not pump any of these for now, and then we can use. Okay, pretty good. All right, and now we'll go Resolute into Venerated, and then just hope they don't have a sweeper. Next turn we'll just shove with everybody. Next 2 turns in a row, basically. We'll lose some stuff, like we'll lose our 4/4, but they'll take a big chunk. I think they're dead if they don't have a sweeper for sure. But they can have it this turn or next turn is the big problem. And if they if they had attacked there, I think I would have blocked. All right, let's just swing. The end, probably. Yeah. They hit a Knight Errant, so they get all of them out the deck, but we have one in play already. And so now they'll eat here, and then they'll take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they're going to go to 1. They can keep shoulder in play and go to 1. Here we go. This is one of the reasons why I'm not the hugest fan of 3-drops as our sideboard cards with Rydane and Wedding announcements. Because it's actually like difficult to get to 3 lands sometimes. Okay, well, I'm definitely just going to attack again. Don't want to crack the clue. I probably should have, but swing on in. They didn't play sweeper, and last turn they took 20, so, you know, I'm pretty sure they're dead. You know, I don't want to say nowhere, Ohio, but Caldwell, Ohio, on the East Coast, and they have a giant new play space that they just recently renovated that's really nice. And we have a big invitational weekend coming up on November 17th, including a bunch of last chance qualifiers. So if any of that sounds like something you'd like to do, make sure to check out apexgaming.gg for more info. Ohio isn't real. You know, I've heard that multiple times. Can never tell when people are being serious or not. I've been to Ohio. I know it's real. Mount Tanya? Mana, okay. Alright. Let's get this Thalia down though. Wait, Joe, what's up? 18 over with waste, not nice. Yeah, I do not drop, but of course you need to play a few leagues to get 19 trophies. Yeah, nice. That's cool that you don't, though. That's great. That means your deck is sick. All right, let's go Thalia. And this is going to look weird. I'm going to go ahead and play Ornithopter again. I feel like I'm playing it at random weird times, but like if they went Swiftspear, you know, or like, I don't know, whatever. I'm just going to play my cards. Leave me alone. Holding is sometimes better, and it's sometimes worse, and it's often difficult to figure out when is when. All right, we'll keep the Giant Killers for now, but we'll go ahead and play Resolute into Venerated Luxodon, and game should be over at this point. And a lot of that, I think, is due to Thalia because of the reduction in, or the cost extension. Tax effect, yeah. You got to pay more monies. Goblin Chain Whirler? Oh, my stuff's too big, sir. All my stuff is too big, sir. My stuff is too big. I will send with anything that can go into the Chain Whirler. This and this can go as well. Oh, it's 4/4, so I can't even really attack into it. If I draw, I guess I can play some Giant Killers and then tap it down next turn. All right, let's say if I attack with everything, what happens? I eat this. They trade here. They take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down to 9. And then I play a couple Giant Killers. I think that's fine. I think not attacking is... Maybe it's not the... Alright, let's just slam. I'm going to play 2 of these. How's the matchup on MTGO? So, like, is it the new builds with Huntsman's whatever, Mabob? Huntsman's Redemption? Because if you're doing Huntsman's Redemption, I think that build is particularly good. And it's brand new, so I don't have a ton of information on how to best defeat it. Hard cast the Boneman. Okay, so we can tap this, attack with everything. What happens? They go eat a 2/2, chump here, take 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to play the Iganjo, and we're going to just attack with the Ornithopter, and then we're going to go end of turn, tap, untap, tap. I may crack my blood token, discarding the backup Thalia as well. Mostly because I want to be able to tap 2 blockers next turn, so a 4th land here is very valuable. I think if they attack, I'm fine taking all of it, so I'll just let it happen. Stomp on the Thalia, that's fine. So if they attack with everything, 4, 8, 10. And we attack for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, so we don't have lethal, so I think we actually do have to tap now instead of waiting. Which is fine. If they attacked with both, we'd have the option to trade with the Kumano. Four, 8, 9, 10. Are we going to shock? I guess I don't. I think I just attack with these 3, and then I hold up another tapper. And that way I can't die next turn to a deal 3 or whatever. They're definitely going to trade here. They'll take 3 down to 5. And then I'm maybe just losing because I threw away too much stuff in the face of the Chain Whirler. I threw away 2 creatures to punch through damage. It's tough. Flooding out a bit here after discarding the blood. Probably shouldn't have discarded the blood. Maybe should have just held on to Thalia. Maybe shouldn't have done any of my like more aggressive throws. They definitely should have played this instead of playing the one from hand. That's definitely a mistake. If they attack, they are pretty close to dead. I don't think they're actually dead if they attack. They might want to try to get in 4 here, but we can just keep preventing damage and hitting for 1. Then the Bugbear's fine. Now we can tap 2 things. They might be dead next turn. But anyway, in order to beat the Gruul Vehicles deck, I think that the Acron War is particularly devastating. If you play some Destroy Evil against them, you get to knock off a bunch of their late game stuff, but also destroy the Acron War. Target of a spell. Okay, so we'll just tap again. Okay, nice. I was not expecting to win that game. Forge Devil seems weak. Reckless Bushwhacker seems bad, but I like the Imidanes. I think they're just going to go big, so I kind of like Weddings. Deck and Stone seems okay, not the best, but maybe. Giant Killer kills things with what, 4 power? So we could have used that on the Chain Whirler had we had drawn our third land earlier, but our Thalia was making it harder, so you know. I think it's just wetting for Reckless in this spot. We can maybe get the decks in, but I think deck is unnecessary. They're having to play like the control role. Do you like the State of Pioneer? I think it's fine. I don't think it's any better or worse than it was a year ago. And we've gotten a lot of new cards since then, and I don't think has anything been banned since they banned Winota? Did they ban Winota and Expressive Iteration on at the same time? Anyway, I don't know. I think it's fine. Card ban, please. Yeah, I just don't even think mono green is that troublesome because I think the hyper aggressive decks do some real serious damage to them, and it has a high exploitation rate. Like you're able to exploit. I think I have to mulligan this hand. It's like so close to nutty, but I don't even have like another creature, so I have to. If I play this on red, I just like can't even venerate it next turn or whatever. So I think I have to mulligan. I kind of want to keep. I'm gonna keep. I changed my mind. I can draw a couple different things, including a land. I could also just do nothing. All right, we'll just do nothing. Play around their shock or whatever. Could have played this on white. Probably should just mulligan. I kind of forgot what I was playing against. I forgot that I was in game 2. My opponent took a while to sideboard. Okay, I'm just gonna play this tapped. Land is good, but they're clearly just holding up like Wild Slash or whatever, shocks of all kinds, stomps and stuff. So I'm just not gonna give them a good target for with Ornithopter. Wait for him to play their 3-drop, and then we can go Ornithopter, demo, play a big thing maybe. If we draw another land, we can, or a 0-drop, we can do all this stuff. Here's the Bone Man. All right, well, we drew great. We drew very well. This will play around Chain Roller as well. I think I'm okay trading Venerated for Bone Crusher here. Because either they attack and because they are going to be in an advantage. Oh, they fucked up. They played a second Sokunzon. GG. Bossy must have plans from Caverns. Yeah, I mean, Caverns. So here's the thing. They also don't have a lot of incentive to ban or unban stuff right now in any format because they want people to play Standard. Okay? And so, you know, if Standard is just like not being played very much, then you can just let the other formats get stale while you incentivize people to do the thing you want them to do. All right, let's go Thraben, and I'm going to do another Venerated. Play the Thraben as well, but I'll buff everything else. That means the tokens can punch through the Bone Crusher, the Ornithopter is big and flying, and the Venerate will be a 5/5. Stomp on a token's no big deal. And now we're basically in the same position as we were last turn, but I mean, they're trying to like beat us with shocks or whatever. It's just like not going to work. The way that, I mean, we played around all these removal spells early by not playing anything. I also kept kind of a weaker, or it was an explosive hand, but I think as far as keeps go, it was a rather weak keep. Standard's fun besides Atraxa. When I did coverage of the last Standard regional championship, San Diego or whatever, and man, it was brutal watching some of those games. See, this is the thing. I keep drawing a bunch of 3s and I'm unable to utilize them. And this is just a very common thing in this deck because we're so light on lands. And so the weddings have been unimpressive for me most of the time. We can play Knight Errant or Smash. I think I'll just play Knight Errant. I think I'm just trying to make it so that I can't lose, and I think that doing this does that. I'll get Thalia and Giant Killer, I guess. And then we can play Thalia or pop the token. I'll just play the Thalia. And now if they have a another stomp, they have to play it now. Yeah, they just concede. All right, no elf is great. So that means we get to go Resolute into Ornithopter Immodanes. Anyway, that's kind of the reason. Oh, okay, they're greasy. That's kind of why I think they're not touching any of the other formats, really. I think they just don't care. Because they just want people to play standard. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm in the same boat. Like, I hope that they interact with Modern and Pioneer at some point, but they're clearly choosing not to right now. They're likely going to trade here, and then if they Grease Fang me next turn, I'm going to be in trouble, but that's kind of just how it always is. Turn 3 Grease Fang with something to come back is very difficult to beat. But we have made it so that they can only trade, they can't eat. But if they go Grease Fang, Sky Sovereign, come in, kill something, crew attack, kill something, it's very unlikely we win. Great. I mean, that sucks, Walsh. I don't know, man. Just like practice the games if you want to or don't. You know, Magic's just a game. If you're not enjoying it, just don't bother. Do something else. Go play freaking basketball or whatever. Go watch TV. But I agree. Like, you know, it's better to enjoy the thing that you are doing. I think that it's not. I wouldn't say it's like a failure when it comes to how they've interacted with the formats. I just think it's intentional. You know, not changing anything to Modern kind of made sense at the time. Not changing anything in Pioneer for like 2 years makes very little sense, if you ask me. Other than nothing is winning too much, so they feel like they just have that as an excuse or whatever. Grizzly Salvage, do they hit? They hit the Parhelion. That's bad news. So we are taking 13, and then we have to find a way to punch through the Angels. I don't think we can. This is the classic Grease Fang. You can't beat them draw. I don't know. Sucks. Our deck is not very well equipped to interact with the Grease Fang combo, and whenever they just have turn 3 Grease Fang, it's tough. Alright, so we can play this. Attack doesn't really do anything. We can Chef at Dunes. Oh, we can't Chef at Dunes. We can pop this clue. Can't shock, so we can't do both. And even if we could, I don't think it would matter. Okay. GG. We'll bring in Running Volley for sure. And Immodanes. And I don't mind Wedding Announcement because they do get a lot more interactive after sideboard. I think Giant Killer is okay, not great. Legion's Landing is very bad. Thalia is surprisingly weak, all things considered, just because they have a lot of draws that might not feature. But I want to see just how good Thalia can be in the matchup, so I'm going to leave them. And then I guess we can just trim some Bushwhackers. Legion's Landing, we just bring in... Mostly just want Running Volley. The extra Immodanes is not that necessary. We could do a Wedding or Rydane. Rydane has like very few targets for it or whatever. Like it's just Chariots. But Chariot's like one of the ways where they can actually be in the game without doing the Grease Fang thing. And after sideboard, their deck usually gets a lot bigger, like casting their things, because we are able to interact with Grease Fang a bit. We'll keep. This is a very strong opener. And we also just have an answer to Grease Fang, for one. If they have turn 1 Thoughtseize, we can lose. If they have turn 1 Tap Land, I think we win very easily. Turn them all to 6-2 might be more difficult for them. Thoughtseize taking Gleeful will definitely ruin my hand. We don't have anything to do about it, though. And we still have Recruiter and Raining Volley if that happens. All right, they're down to 5. All right, I don't think I can play around anything. So we'll just jam. Well, Walsh, they can just try to make competitive Magic be a seasonal thing where each of the 3 months you're just playing a different format, right? So 1 month you play standard, or sorry, 3 months you play standard, 3 months you play Pioneer, 3 months you play Modern, something like that. All right, so we're going to attack for a bunch. We have Running Volley up for the Grease Fang, so we can't lose. We can even wait for them to try to bring back the Parhelion and then kill the Grease Fang, but they're just dead on board, so I don't want to give them the potential for Chariot, so we'll just kill it before they can crew. Okay. Not something I was expecting. Okay. We can technically still lose now. Alright, well, we have Raining Volleys. They don't do anything against Chariot. We could have played Thalia, but then I think we lose to Parhelion. I don't think that they had it. But if they draw it, I don't want to just lose on the spot. And the only thing I'm really afraid of at the moment is Chariot. Raining Volley actually kills like every other blocker. They have very few removal spells that kill this. So if they go land Chariot, that sucks, but... Raffine's, okay. Blue discard. What do they discard? A Blooming Marsh, okay. Black-white. I hope this isn't a removal spell for this. Can't stay away on the Trespasser? That's gross. Okay, well, we still force them into chump block mode. And if I draw a land for Recruiter, they die. Alright, so we'll kill the Reformant. We'll force the Trespasser to chump. Nice. We'll just, so Immodane's is not lethal. So we'll attack. Because they gained a life. And now, if I play Thalia, they can play Greasefang, so just say go. They didn't play Chariot last turn. Like, the only thing I care about is Greasefang, but if I keep playing around it might kill me. Like, if I had just played Thalia, like, 2 turns ago, I think I would have won the game, but we're just, like, leaving ourselves vulnerable to losing if we do that. Alright, so they do get really interactive after sideboard, so I think maybe wedding announcements are okay. And the Thalias were, I guess, pretty good against what their post-sideboard plan is if it includes temporary lockdown. Wild. Wow, they're getting locked down. Trim one Thalia for a wedding. Yeah, it is weird if we don't have running up. That's true. So it's possible we should just be cutting it entirely. Is Wear Tear a viable sideboard option? I think that it's just too expensive. I think Destroy Evil is a better option if you really need it, but I wouldn't bring it in here. I wouldn't bring in either here. Mulligan this one. Santa's pretty good. We'll keep, and we'll just put back Battlefield Forge. And we'll hold on to Ornithopter as long as we can. They have a 7-card hand this time instead of a 5. There's a good chance we lose to their great draw, if they have it. Thoughts he's likely going to take Knight Errant, all my payoffs. Ganjo, not the best draw. So probably salvage. All right, well, we don't have anything to stop Greasefang, so I will just... And they don't have double white for what you calls it, so I'm just going to play my hand. And if they go salvage into Greasefang, we lose, but I don't think we were going to beat it anyway. And we're definitely not beating it by cracking Blood Token looking for Renting Volley. It's like such a low... You know, low hit rate or whatever. All right, so they kept Trespasser. I'm just going to play Ornithopter. I'm going to play Ganjo and say go. I don't want the Trespasser to transform. We have Pop Clue or Double Blood looking for Renting Volley or something if we need it. I doubt we'll need it this turn. Playing the Ganjo kind of stank there, but I want to keep this from flipping. I want to cast this, but maybe I'll just draw a card with Clue. Yeah, I think I might just draw a card with Clue so we can maybe transform this back. That's a good draw. Alright, so we'll play Thraben and then Convoke Venerated. And then hold up the Resolute / Blood / Clue. They go. Another salvage. Finds Shieldred, probably. Yeah. What's up, Cal? Is that the MTG Cal? Appreciate the follow. Alright, so we'll probably draw a card with this on the stack. Alright, so now if we attack with everybody, they'll eat Venerated. They'll eat here. They'll take 2, 4, 6, 7 down to 9. But we're not really punching through damage that well. Alright, so we'll main phase this to... I guess to keep the Graveyard Trespasser from flipping. We'll end of turn, we'll play another one and hope we draw Imidane. Or one of our payoffs into Imidane. Oh yeah. This is like one of my favorite decks in Pioneer. This is how the Greasefang decks always sideboard, though. They always go like bigger with Trespasser, Shieldred, Fatal Push, right? They're just like trying to win this like long game against you. And it's the creatures that are like a focal point. So maybe I should bring in Deck and Stone. And I should always leave in my Giant Killers. They killed the Greasefang anyway for 3. Alright. Here's a Witherbloom command. Killing this and what? Milling and get a land? Sure. My guess is they're milling 3 looking for something to put into the graveyard rather than getting the land back necessarily. So they may have Greasefang in hand. They don't have anything in the graveyard right now, though, for it. So they're going to bring back the Mutt. Probably going to discard a Parhelion. Yeah. And then next turn, they'll have Greasefang ready. Yeah, Giant Killer is great. We'll block with Luxodon. Yeah, I'll block with Ornithopter. Okay. My gut instinct is to cast Resolute Reinforcements, but I think that Blood might be better because I think that we're gonna lose to Greasefang next turn, and so I kind of want to just dig. And this like hurts pretty bad to do this, but you know, losing hurts worse. All right, well, we found the running volley. All right, so if we attack with everybody, they go block here, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down to 11. Gonna keep walking head first into their sweeper, I guess. I mostly just want to draw Imidane or Venerated. I guess, or another Knight Aaron Aveos could be good as well. Okay, so they don't have Greasefang. They're just gonna can't stay away a Trespasser. Okay. Man, I can't tell you how much I just despise this card. I just despise it. Okay, so they were worried about getting swarmed, and so they, even if they had Greasefang, they might not have gone for it because of my potential to have Running Volley or whatever. But, you know, it's just so hard to win on actual damage, and we can't draw cards to, like, find answers to things. That's a pretty good draw. I think this is a fine attack. I should have been attacking with Ornithopter. I missed, like, 2 hits with it. That was bad. Are we slamming with everything? Probably not. Just keep holding up the Running Volley instead of playing the Giant Killer. Just chump blocking. Interesting. That means we're probably getting Wrathed. They did hit us with temporary lockdown last game, so we have to be aware of that one. Alright, I'm going to attack with Venerated. And the Ornithopter again. And if they want to trade Chariot for it, I think that's fine. These are going to check the Chariot decently. They'll get a token out of it, but we can play defense well against their ground pounders. We're like kind of close to dying to Trespasser stuff. Ah, yeah. Alright, so we'll just go Thalia. I'm going to leave the Giant Killer over there in exile, so I can keep holding up Running Volley. Alright, bye, Jegman. Attack for 1 Sego, and probably going to get posed by the Gluttons. They also, I think, just have, oh, I guess the can't stay away is gone now. So if this is Witherbloom command, they have to pay 1 more, but they can kill Thalia mill 3. Oh no. We got zapped. That sucks. Escalate Valiant? No, that doesn't work. We're just dead to the Graveyard Gluttons attacking. Yeah. Keep. This hand's great if they don't have 1 cost interaction. What are we doing? I guess do we turn 1 demo the Ornithopter? I don't think so. Okay, so mirror, we have a pretty ridiculous hand for the mirror, all things considered. So we'll just go demo here. Ornithopter, Knight Errant for the full Monty. Looking for something else to play this turn. Okay. Salty Say Nick, thanks for the 2 months. That's 2 months and deep in the tank. Thank you so much for the reset. Appreciate you. Let's see if they can match me. Even if they do match me, though, everything that they have is tapped. We might be able to swarm them and overwhelm them anyway. We didn't have Venerated. Venerated would have been the nut because we get to hard punish them. Even if they have the same draw, we get to attack first, and all their stuff is convoked and tapped, so, right? Alright, well, it doesn't look like they have a second land, so the game is over. Unless they're just sandbagging. For whatever reason. Okay, they're just sandbagging for no reason. Alright, so if we swing with everything, they eat a 1/1, they trade with a 1/1. I think that's fine. And then we play. No need to attack with the Ornithopter. It's possible we should just only attack with Knight. Because we are throwing away a creature here, but we're throwing away a creature to be able to attack with a bunch of 1/1s. And I guess we're not even really threatening to shrink their board, so. Alright, let's just go for another demo and another Thraben. Again, we're just swarming. We're down to 12. Alright, here's a Convoked Venerated Luxodon. If they don't have 3 blockers here, they're not dead on board, but they trade here and they take 6, 7, 8. Okay. I will just swing with everybody except Ornithopter. They'll probably trade with the 4/4, and then we'll go demo again plus Epicure, and then I don't think that there's much they can do to come back. They're gonna go to 1 and they die to Epicure. I'm definitely okay with that. All right, Forge Devils, I think, are coming in. I'm not a huge fan of Running Volley, even though they kill the 4/4s. I think the Deccan Stones are pretty good. I think Immodanes and Bushwhacker are not what you want. Because it's hard to explain, but I think that it just doesn't fit. Giant Killer is okay. Legion Landing is okay, but I think something like the 3 Thalias and maybe a Legion's Landing can go. Something like that. Legion's Landing seems pretty solid, though. Maybe I can trim a Resolute. Maybe cutting the Immodanes and the Bushwhackers is bad, but they don't buff toughness. They only buff power, so it's really only for killing and not for getting ahead on board. And Venerated is like all important or whatever early. Didge. It's a Matt. Definitely going to keep this hand. We got the Forge Devil, which we can use to pop off on their Epicure or something if they start with it. We can also demo on one ourselves. Alright, so we'll definitely just kill this thing to slow down their invoking. We do need to draw payoff. We do have a blood we can pop, digging for it. Okay, so they're doing the same thing as us. We're just trading back and forth. They didn't have a land number 2. We'll go. Oh, why did I do that? That was horrible. I think I'll just Epicure and pop the blood token. And I guess I'll discard an Ornithopter. I need to pop one Ornithopter with the Gleeful. Alright, they did draw a second land. Demo. Wonder if I should have used Demo to blow up their blood. I don't think so. Alright, here comes Venerated or whatever. It's tit for tat. Not a lot we can do about it. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the blood. I don't want to discard Battlefield Forge. I think I'm gonna discard Ornithopter. Alright, well, we are up shit creek, but we're not out of it yet. 4, 2, 4, 6. I mean, the problem is, even if we draw Venerated next turn, they're just attacking us for a ton twice. And, like, blocking with a bunch of 1/1s is just, like, not going to do it. The Venerated Luxon draws are, like, the only ones that matter. It's, like, kind of frustrating. Guess I'll buy a Gigantha. Maybe next turn we'll draw something good. Them drawing a second land was huge. But if they had Ornithopter as well, they could have done something very similar that turn. But alright, we'll just take it. We could chump with Luxodon, but it makes a lot of our future turns way worse. Alright. Could have discarded the land, I guess, but it didn't matter. Okay. Hope for the best. I don't think Running Volley's worth still. And I don't think the Imidanes are that good either. Like, if we had played an early Gleeful Demolition into Imidanes, I guess we would have pushed some damage maybe. I think the Resolutes are good though. Maybe it's like Imidane over Wedding and Legion or something. Maybe it's not. Maybe Forge Devil sucks. Yo, James! Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate you. Hope you had a good stream. Thank you so much. We are in round number 4 with Boros Convoke, featuring main deck Thalia Guardian. We have removed them from the main deck for sideboard games against the Mirror. Not a whole lot of hits in the Mirror. Oh yeah, this deck is great. It's really good against Rakdos mid as well. I was 5-0 against it at the regional championship when I played it. And my win percentage on Magic Online with it's decent. Decent. Let's keep. This is a weird one. I want to see if Wedding Announcement's any good. I have the Forge Devil as well. If they play something that makes an artifact on one, I might just blow it up with Demo. It's like super aggro or whatever, but like I don't have the best draw. And I want my Wedding Announcement to kind of dominate if I can. Whose idea was the Forge Devil? I don't know. Someone a long time ago. Alright, well, I'll kill one of these tokens, I guess. And then I'll play the Legion's Landing. Yeah, that's fair, Jason Daddy. I just don't know if, like, being aggressive for one turn is enough. Like, you have to be able to double punish, and Venerated's, like, the only thing that really does that. I think I just want to trade with both. Alright, I'm just going to play Wedding. And say go. Make a token. I think I like the token better than a card. Just for this instance. I also think they're going to play... Make 2 1/1s, yeah. Declaration Stone changes a little bit here what I want to do. Next turn I can attack with 3 things. Flip Legion's Landing. Maybe Deck and Stone a bunch of tokens. If they Venerated, we can hit the Venerated or the 2 Fire Extinct Goblins, depending on what we want to do. Depending on what they do, how they pump them. Buy Gigantha. That's exactly what I want. Now, if they attack, I don't care. I'll just take it. And then I attack back, flip Legions. rely on that for a while. So this is going to transform this, which will give me an extra card. They'll probably trade 3 tokens and then... Oh, they'll just take it. That's fine too. So they're not Giganthaing next turn, and they didn't Convoke last turn. So what does that mean? Should I just First Fort? I'll buy Gigantha, play Thraben, play Den. We'll draw a card at the end of turn off the Wedding. And then I have potential half sweeper for tokens next turn. And a 5/5 blocker. And my Gigantha's coming down ahead of theirs. Something like Imidane's here, we'll just take, 9, block, trade 1. Something like that. I feel very good about our position in this game. Wedding Announcement has looked good. It changed how they played the game, and it made my weaker draw much stronger. Renting Volley. That's why I don't want Renting Volley in my deck, for almost that exact reason. It's just like, okay, I'll take a little bit of damage, right? Then I'll 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we go to 9. We can attack for 1, gain 10. And then Imidane's only buffing power just makes it not that scary, right? I think I'll hit the 2 Phyrexian Goblin tokens here, but maybe not. Maybe I'll just attack for 1, let Wedding flip, play Gigantha, make another token. I can wait on the Venerated for later, I think. But now my Wedding flips and all my stuff's huge. Chef Adoon's also not even that big of a deal. It's been a good match so far, though. The Boros Boros Convoke Mirror, can get really sticky. Both players having, 10, 15 creatures in play or whatever. Luckily, none of our games have gone like that. It's been one-sided, and now, maybe we get to the game where we both end up with a bunch in play. All right, so that's pretty great for me, unless they have Bushwhacker. If they Bushwhacker, I don't think we die, but it's pretty gross. All right, no attacks, so now we can just pop all their goblins. Okay, so they Convoke. No, they Deck and Stone some of my stuff. Humans. Okay. All right, goblins down. I think I'm gonna attack with just this, since it has lifelink. Trade is fine. Kill the Thraben. This is just going to put me out of lethal mode, or lethal range. Thraben will go demo one of the clues. Generated off of these. I think I'll shock just so I can crack a clue. Now, my board is just much bigger than theirs on sizing. And so now I'll just ship in with Den of the Bugbear and stuff. So I think Wedding Announcement actually is great for the mirror, now that I've played more with it. It's good against, if they're doing Renting Volley, it's good there. If they're doing I don't know. It's one way where you can actually match up against another Venerated Luxodon well. But now we just shove with most things. Alright, if I activate this and attack, what happens? I think they have to, let's see, they have 4 blockers. They have to block with most things. It's just too much damage, I think. Like, we can die to, like, a Bushwhacker type turn next turn. So, this is just so much damage that I think they have to block with everything, or most everything, to not be dead. They only have 1 card in hand. Well, okay. Now, I don't think they can line up a block where they can survive and activate Shefet and kill me next turn. It's just too much. So they have 6 blockers. If they block, yeah. I haven't had wedding announcement in my sideboard too often, but it seems like people get really interactive with Running Volley, Forge Devil, and one of the easiest ways to lose is Venerated Luxodon. So I think it just alleviates a lot of issues after sideboard. It just costs 3. Unlikely either player has Thalia after sideboard though. Okay, this is one of the tests for the deck. Phoenix, it's actually quite good in the format right now. All right, let's go. I want to play around Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce is the card that fucks me here, so let's play around Spell Pierce. Next turn we can go Resolute Knight Errant. That way we have a white creature to convoke. Ledger Shredder, sure. I think we just have to let them get the loot. It's just like too important we get Knight Errant down here. We can also go ahead and play Ornithopter so we can play fewer cards on future turns in the same turn. Discard the bird. All right, full convoke value. We'll take Venerated. We'll take Thraben. Or no, let's take Epic here. Let's just push damage. All right, so the Ledger Shredder is going to get big and it's going to eat one thing a turn unless I ignore it. And I think I'm just going to go Epicure, Venerated next turn. And if I draw another land, I'll just go ahead and play everything. That way we prevent Ledger Shredder from drawing too many free cards. Chef at Dunes is a good draw. For later. All right, your go. Next turn, we'll just shove with everything. I think I'll probably discard Epicure to Blood Token here. If all they're doing is like Lightning Axing my Venerateds or whatever, I just could not care less. Yield till end of turn. So now they can go like Axe Your Thing, get back Phoenix or whatever. They're starting with Axe. They didn't discard Phoenix. That's great news for me, but they're probably casting Cruise. But I really don't think we lose too often from spot removal. Oh god, they still have Trespass in their deck. I haven't played against Trespass in a minute. So they do get a free 5-point attack. And they only have 2 cards in hand though, so we could have chub blocked with the Ornithopter. I gotta keep that in mind. Maybe I should have, but maybe I can do that this turn. Free the Fae. So they milled over. They can take Galvanic or Consider. The Cruise. All right. So my 4/4s are dead. Let's see if they attack me with the Ledger Shredder. We do have to block, I think, with the Ornithopter now. They might not attack at all. Alright, I'm gonna play Thalia. Do I attack with everybody? They get 2 eats. Eat. They take 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 down to 8. I think I'll just say go. I think the Thalia is pretty good here. I mostly just wanted to hit 2 land drops. That's why I've been looting with my bloods. I want to push for Shefa Dunes. They had a really good 2-turn sequence there with the Trespass. Difficult to come back from, but we're trying to swarm. They had the 2 axes for our big guys as well. They have Treasure Cruise in hand, so they can start with that. Eat their graveyard. They leave the Galvanic. They go land plus Picklock. They have 3 blockers. Okay, so they play Ledger Shredder instead. I don't think we're going to win this game, unfortunately. Ledger Shredder is often quite good against us. Alright, we're in desperation mode. I'm going to play... Okay. I thought that they would... So I guess they don't think they're going to be able to get Phoenix back next turn, so that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and play another Thalia here. They're at 7. Galvanic plus what? Galvanic plus what? Opt. Okay. I think all things considered, that's maybe the best possible for me in that spot. So they get 2 ops, but they've already played a land, so they can't play another thing. They'll pass back. If we attack with everybody except Ornithopter, what happens? I think we're just going to die next turn to our own stuff. Let's see, if we attack, they have 3 blockers. They go 1, 2, 3. They take 2, 4, 5. So they eat these 3. They take 2, 4, 5 down to 2. And we have Resolute Reinforcements plus Ornithopter to block. We might be dead to Ledger Shredder attacking, but that was always the case if they had removal. I'm hoping that they actually haul the Storm Giants and swing, because they think we only have the 1 blocker, but we do have the Resolute. Pieces O the puzzle. They did hit Impulse, so we are technically dead if they are able to loot with 1. They have 2 Phoenix in the yard coming back as well. Unfortunate. There was like a couple turns there where if we didn't have the Ornithopter, they could have attacked for lethal. But if I had blocked with Ornithopter when it was an attack for 5, I wouldn't be losing to this 1-mana removal spell right now. I also think if I don't attack with Thalia, maybe we don't lose this turn also. Whoa. Oh, I guess there's 2 Phoenix coming back. Okay, so we're just taking 9 in the air no matter what we do. Okay, I don't understand what's happening. I'm just gonna take 6 down to 3. And then they're dead to this Resolute Reinforcements. Without another removal spell. Oh, no, they're not. They're dead to a land that's not Sacred Foundry. Dang. So close. Well, it should not have been this close. But we lost anyway. Almost had them in the punish. I like Burning Volley because they often have Thing in the Ice on the board, and we know they have Ledger Shredder. All these Imidanes and things can go after board when they likely have sweepers. Wedding is okay. They're likely going to have the sweepers, as we said. Legion's Landing's good. Thalia's good. Resolute. All the 1-drops. All these are fine. Maybe we trim a Giant Killer. We trim 2 Giant Killers, and we bring in 1 Deckenstone. Seems loose. Even 1 Immodanes. So few targets for Giant Killer until, like, it's way too late or whatever. Plus, we have a huge emphasis on Thalia in this matchup. Alright, so we have the turn 1 Demo, but we don't have the turn 2 Knight Errant. I'm going to keep. If we draw a land or another 0, we have the turn 2 Knight Errant. And I want to go Thraben on 1, I think, instead of Demo the Ornithopter, so we can use the Ornithopter for Convoking. This will leave us open to Spell Pierce, but we saw most of their deck last game and didn't see Spell Pierce, so I'm going to assume they don't have it because they've gotten the Pickpocket into their deck. It takes some effort to do that. What's up, Polish? How's it going? I'm doing great. Had a good day, had a good week, had a good month. I'm going to play Legion's Landing. See if it gets Spell Pierce. It didn't. I'm going to play Ornithopter so we can threaten to transform the Legion's Landing. Alright, so they are playing into my sweeper. Or they're trying to walk me into their sweeper, I think. So I don't really want a demo, so let's just Thalia. If they have another removal spell, they might hit the Thraben. Alright, see what they do next turn. We can probably transform Legion's Landing next turn. My goal is hopefully to go refuel after the sweeper with Knight Gleeful. Alright, attack with these, see if they want to block. Blow up the thing. Here we go. If they didn't block, we could have just played the Aganjo and then activated a Danto a bunch. Alright, Brotherhood's End was... We knew that was coming. So now we get to go Demo here for a red. Then get the Knight Errant down while they're tapped out. We can only get 3s, but that's okay. Alright, well, I guess we'll just swing on them. Just gonna attack. We have a Danto activation. See how they interact. They're probably gonna kill this. Yeah, that's fine. And so we'll go... I guess we'll go either in a turn Resolute or a Danto, but I think I'm just gonna Danto. Maybe we'll go for a big Immodanes next turn. God, Free the Face, so good. Would they keep probably Cruise? Yep. Hopefully they just like tap out to play a bunch of card draw effects here. If all they do is draw 6 cards with Cruise, I'm very happy. I say I'm very happy. Obviously, this is very powerful, but I think I'm just threatening lethal next turn without being like them having sweepers or whatever. Turn right back around. All right, we're gonna slam on them with Immodanes. It's not quite lethal. They're gonna take 2 for 6, 8, 11 down to 1. And now they're dead to just like a million things, but they're just gonna have to basically sweep me every turn for the rest of the game or combo kill me. Alright, Impulse kills 1. They still gotta play 2 more things to bring back the Phoenix, but they still have a grip full. Unlikely we're killing them this turn. They get back Brotherhood's in, but they can't play it this turn. That's 2 instant sorceries. If they cruise here, okay, so they're going to consider. So that'll get back Phoenix. They need an untapped red source and a removal spell to not be dead, or they had to hit another Phoenix off the consider. Okay, so they're at 1. We have 4 attackers. They're dead. GG. You played Resolute last EOT instead of Adonto. Was it lethal? Yeah, I didn't count. It probably was. That's just a mistake. We're going to bring back in the Recruiter since they have a bunch of sweepers after board. Legion's Landing was quite strong there. The running volleys, I think, are still necessary, so I'm going to keep them. Maybe they don't have Thing in the Ice, but the Ledger Shredders are annoying. Let's do 2 Immodanes. We'll trim 1 Resolute. We call that a miscalculation. Whenever we don't look to see what the actual lethal hit is. I had made up my mind like 30 seconds earlier that I was just going to activate my land. Reason. Oh, one reason why. I didn't say they miscalculated. I said I miscalculated. I never said anything about them. All right. On a mold of 6. On the plate. Sleight of hand. Really changed the nature of the deck, did Sleight of hand. I'm gonna play Legion's Landing, I guess. Back for 1. I needed a little help. Like another creature this turn would have been nice, but it might have just walked me right into Brotherhood's in. Next turn, I can go Ornithopter, land, Knight Errant, start refueling. The Venerate doesn't put me over the top of a sweeper, so I think we'll just like pieces cruise. Okay, cool. All right, so now we have a little spot where we can start doing stuff and punishing them. Let's go Ornithopter, Knight Errant. We'll take a couple of Resolutes, I guess. That way we have a lot to rebuild after a sweeper. Next turn we can attack with all, flip Legion's Landing if they don't kill anything. If they do kill something, we can change our turn quite a bit. The Thalia probably has to come down to make their life worse. They're going to start off with a 1-mana cruise, and that's going to put them up to be able to start killing this and whatnot. With the axe and all sorts. So we know they have pieces. Axe Phoenix. Okay, so they get the Phoenix back. That's really bad for me, actually. Well, I guess they have to have another thing. If it's a removal spell, it has to be on one of these. Okay. Okay, so in order to compete, we have to shove. So I'm going to play 2 Resolutes into a 5-drop. I'm just going to do Knight Errant so we can combo off again, since again, the Venerated doesn't put us over the hump of the sweeper effect. And we'll go, I guess, Thraben and Epicure, so we can go Thraben, Epicure, Venerated. Another Venerated might be better, but I feel like we're just going to get hit with a sweeper here. And so I just need to keep being able to rebuild if I have the ability to. All right, here comes a 3-point attack. They're probably going to Brotherhoods in me. We'll see if they can deal with the Knight Errant as well. I never liked Invasion of Gobakon when my opponents were playing like... Well, sorry. I never liked Invasion of Gobakon when I'm convoking, right? Convoking not only means that you're playing like small creatures in general, but it means that you know, you're not attacking and your creatures are small. It means both things, so it can be like kind of awkward sometimes. So let's go Thalia, Thraben, Epicure, and then Errant again. Just keep on the pressure. Just Ornithopter, it's a bummer. Hold on to it. Here you go. Exactly. There's also the problem of non-creatures not really doing much. Alright, Impulse on Thalia makes a bunch of sense. That should allow them to get their Phoenix back. And then if they attack me, that means that we're probably getting Time Walked on the next turn. See what they get back with Free the Fae. I think it's just pieces. Okay, yeah. So they can bring back Phoenix. My guess is they'll be defensive. We have the Den of the Bugbear, the Shephet Dunes, Thraben now. We can flip the Legions. Okay, that's fine. Let's attack with everybody to transform. Then we go this, this, this. Maybe we hold back one more. Alright, so I kind of want to hold back Ornithopter to chump block. What if I just... Actually, can I activate a Danto and then Convoke? No. Maybe I draw a card? I can still Convoke the Luxodon. Okay, we'll just play another 4/4. And hope they don't kill us in the air with trespasses and stuff. Starting off with pieces. They didn't find the big scary. Axe discard Phoenix? No. Axe discard Galvanic. I'll take it. We have Shephet Dunes plus attack. I think is lethal. They don't have another Phoenix in the yard. They block here. They take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They need to have 1 mana bounce. Yes! 4-1! A great league with Boros Convoke. So, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, the reason why it's in the deck is because we're able to construct our deck in a way where it doesn't affect us that much, and the static ability, I think, is just very strong against a number of opponents in the current Pioneer meta, from the Phoenix deck we just played against to even Rakdos midrange. I think it's pretty great. Lotus Field's coming back. A lot of these non-creature based spell decks make Thalia just much stronger. If I had to make any changes from this build, I would probably just cut one of the Bushwhackers for another Imidanes. I would cut the Imidanes in the sideboard for maybe another Giant Killer. The Declaration Stones are okay, but a third Giant Killer might go a long way in giving us some more Shield Red protection without needing to bring in Declaration in Stone against a Shield Red deck, because giving them that clue token is often pretty weak. Forge level looked great. Wedding announcement was fine. We drew it a couple times and it was great. Raidane, combines nicely with the Thalias. I'm curious if we can get another land into the deck. Maybe like I don't know if there's any DFCs that are white or red creatures, but maybe something like that could fit in and give us the ability to have a 20-second land that it doesn't hurt us on flooding, doesn't mess up Gigantha, stuff like that. That's what Den of the Bugbear and Chef at Dunes are for. They're supposed to do exactly that. And so maybe it's just add another Den or another Chef at, or just, play 21. Our draws were rather smooth, all things considered, for our Convoke strat. I might be down to trim like one Resolute Reinforcements for another 1-drop. I think that the curve on this deck is a little high sometimes, but overall I thought things went very well. Only loss was to Greasefang, which I think is a particularly bad matchup. And that's all she wrote. This has been Tandy playing Boros Convoke featuring Thalia, Garden of Thraben. Make sure to hit the follow button on your way out. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Apex Gaming and Brainstorm Brewery. Apex Gaming is a store out of Caldwell, Ohio that specializes in Magic the Gathering, but we're going to be getting more and more into Lorcana soon. Also, check out Brainstorm Brewery. It's a Slice of Life podcast featuring some really awesome talent. Corbin, Caslin, DJ, and Jason Alt all talking about Magic the Gathering, and they often have special guests like Braden Bowdish, another friend of mine, talking about finance, all that stuff. This has been Tandy. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.